This week, Josh Pate over at 247 Sports dropped another FSU take, and this time maybe with a little more praise than we're used to seeing from Josh. Now, I know a lot of you guys have your issues with Pate and maybe still dislike him over the playoff thing, and I hear you, but we got to move on and got to acknowledge when he does get it right. And this time he did a segment ranking the top programs in college football over the next 3 years, and I was honestly shocked to see him list Florida State at number 6 and hearing his reasoning on it. Now, I'll roll the clip for you guys, and we'll talk about it here in just a minute.
The number 6 program in college football over the next 3 years, to me, is Florida State. They are right there, knocking on the door at being one of the elite programs in America. 24-2 or 24-4 the last 4 years. Recruiting has gone from good to really good to great is the next step that I'm looking for. And the thing about it is, you don't have to ask about them. Should I believe in them? Do I have proof? If I'm a prospective player, do I have proof they can win? Yes, you've got it. It doesn't matter if the committee left them out of the playoff last year. You saw them play an undefeated regular season. So you saw them win the ACC. You saw all this. You've seen Mike Norvell. That's not in the future. That's the now. In the future is, do they start stacking seasons like that? I think it's very likely they do. I think it may be likely we haven't seen Florida State's best teams. Does that mean this year? Not necessarily. It does mean over the next 3 years, I think they'll fulfill on that. Are they going to be in the ACC? I have no clue. Wherever they are, I don't care if they're independent. I don't care if they're in the Big 12. Wherever they are going to play about as high a level football, I think, under Mike Norvell as any program in America. And their defining signature moment for casual fans is still ahead. We saw what Mike Norvell did last year, and I think most anybody with a brain is sold on him. But there's a group of people who truly need to see you win a national championship. Or in the modern age, they need to see you win multiple playoff games before they believe you're legitimate. That's coming for Florida State, I believe. It'll be that moment in the mind of the casual fan that they've arrived. They've already arrived. I wouldn't put them number 6 over the next 3 years if I didn't think they've already arrived. So Florida State, as the ACC currently stands, Florida State to me projects as the number 1 program in that conference moving forward. I don't know what moving forward means, but that's where I've got them right now.
Now, again, lots of very high praise here on the surface, but I want to dive a little deeper into some of the things he said. He said that they're knocking on the door to being one of those elite programs in college football, and I think this is fair. Yes, we've seen the upward trajectory. We've seen the improvement in every aspect of the program, from the head coach to the staff to the NIL to the on-field product, even down to stadium renovations. So as an FSU fan, you probably already feel like we should be included in that group. And I'd say that's also fair, but like you said, it's going to be all about how we can sustain success and stack winning seasons. Now, I think 2024 will show us a lot. I think everyone is very excited about this team, even though we've had to say goodbye to some fan favorites and welcome in a lot of new faces. But we're very excited about guys like DJU, Marvin Jones Jr., Malik Benson. I think those guys can be special. And if they go out and have a good season, it's not only going to help recruiting, obviously, but it'll go a long way in setting the Noles up for 2025 and beyond. Buzz around Tallahassee is definitely real. Now, you heard Pate also bring up high school recruiting, and that's one thing we talk about a ton on this channel, covering both the good and the bad. He pointed to the improvement we've seen there under Mike Norvell, like he said, going from good to really good. Now we just got to see it go from really good to great, to that kind of elite level. And I think that is, sitting somewhere around top 5, top 6 recruiting class nationally, and then pairing that with a really good portal class, which we already know the staff can absolutely kill it in the portal because we've seen them do it time and time again under Mike Norvell. Just need to see that high school recruiting take that next step, and who knows, it could happen a lot sooner than we think. Like I said a minute ago, if Florida State goes out and has another good year, hopefully double-digit wins and a playoff appearance, then that should definitely help on the recruiting front as well. So it's kind of a situation where it all just kind of plays into itself, right? It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and because of that, 2024 is really a pivotal year, in my opinion, to see how the next 3+ might go. Now, to that point, he said Florida State has already arrived. He said that Florida State is the number 1 program in the ACC right now, so shout out to Clemson and Miami for being afterthoughts. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on that or anything, but I want to rejoice with you guys and how awesome it is to hear that again after going through Clemson's dominance for that stretch, and really just appreciate how Mike has brought us back. Now, he kind of alluded to this by asking if Florida State will even still be in the ACC in 3 years. I think he knows that FSU won't. I think we all know that FSU will be elsewhere by then, but he went on to say that no matter where Florida State ends up, they're going to play as high level of football as anybody else under Mike Norvell. That's a far cry of what we were hearing back in the Taggart era and even the beginning of Mike's tenure here. I know Pate's segment was on the trajectory of the next 3 years, but I just want to take a second and appreciate the transformation of the last 3 years that helped get us here. Now, the most interesting point I think he made is that when he said that he doesn't think we've seen FSU's best yet. And I wholeheartedly agree here. As good as 2023 was, an undefeated season, conference champs, all that good stuff, for one, it didn't end the way we all wanted it to, the way it should have ended. And obviously, it's all about winning that national championship trophy. And he went on to say that he does think that that's coming for Florida State. Now, it's hard to predict that in the next 3 years necessarily, but I think if not the next three, I definitely have to think Mike Norvell will bring a national championship back to Tallahassee within the next 5 years. I think all this to say that Florida State is absolutely one of the top programs in the sport right now, and we absolutely should be singing the praises of Mike Norvell like this and how far the program has come since he's got here. But it's also okay to acknowledge that there's still more work to do. I think Mike Norvell would be the first person to tell you that. That's exactly why I feel so confident about Florida State and where they currently sit, and why I feel even better about where they'll be in just a few years' time. Hopefully, rocking an SEC or a Big Ten badge while recruiting in the top five and being a consistent playoff caliber team. That's the next step for this program. I think Mike Norvell is definitely the guy to get us there, and I could not be more excited to watch it take place. Love the praise from Pate here. A guy that typically is a little bearish on FSU, in my opinion. Everyone's taking notice of what's going on in Tallahassee. So now I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of Pate's thoughts here? Do you think Florida State wins the national championship in the next few years? Definitely let me know down in the comments right after you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll talk soon. Go Noles.